Big Show's National Football Show. Man, there's a ton of work to do when it comes to the Eagles in this offseason. And I'm telling you, this is going to be an interesting offseason here, to say the least. And let's bring our friend Garry Cobb in. I'm going to start him off with the conversation about DeVonta Smith, because I don't think a lot of people are hitting on that and talking about the direction of what the Eagles are going to do, because you got Hassan Reddick still. You got to worry about the corners. Garry, DeVonta Smith is now eligible to have the fifth-year option picked up on May 2nd. Do they pick up the fifth-year option, which means $15 million hits the 2025 cap now, or do they extend him?
Well, I think it probably would be better if they extended him, because, you could work with however many years you can want to work with, and they play the games. This is where I think the best the best GMs, when it comes to stretching things out, they give guys money in a year when he's not even going to get that money. They play the game. So I can't say that I could sit down and draw all of that up, but I know that you benefit from, stretching things out. And that's the way they stay ahead and are able to have more people on the team, and they play a game with the numbers. So, you talk about $15 million, chances are he probably is going to want more. Now I could see 15 sounds like maybe not a bad number for him, but with the way the numbers are going up,
oh, no doubt,
I don't think he would be willing to take that, or his agent and everything. So I think stretching it out is probably the best way, and
picking up the option, you would say the fifth-year option, because it gives them. Because you're right. If he's on the open market, his market value right now is $20 million.
Yeah, that's what I could see. I knew it would be higher than 15, because the numbers everybody's throwing out there. So, and then, really, if I don't think he's touched his height yet, from a standpoint of how good he can be, because you got AJ over there, and I don't think they did the best job last year using all of their weapons. So we'll see how it works out this year. But I think, playing the game with the numbers is the thing that is probably the thing the Eagles are going to do. And that will allow them to have more players. You're able to do more talent. And, they know how to play the game with these numbers and with the rules. I don't know what all of them are, but, they've done it before where, they got some guys signed, and like I said, he's got numbers later on. Which, come on, they're just up there so they can get, they can get more out of this year's more talent on the team.
Garry, what to do with Reddick in your opinion? I mean, here's the issue you have.
Yeah,
you have a guy that's making $15 million. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a market for him.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you've got a defense that has so many significant holes. And my friend Tone told me the number, get this, the Philadelphia Eagles total cash that they have spent on linebackers this year is $4 million. I mean, that's for the entire group.
I know.
What's the point of having 11 sacks on your team when your safety sucked? You're underachieving at corner, and you've got a guy who, if he doesn't get home, is actually a liability on your team when it comes to covering tight ends. What do you do with them?
Well, the big thing is going to be, talking to your defensive coordinator. What's important to him now? I think you want pass rushers. You got to be able to. I mean, it's a passing league, so you would figure that he wants guys that can get to the passer. But you're going to talk to him soberly about, what is most important to him. what is what does he see? You got this kid Snead with the Chiefs. I know the way they treat and they value the corner position. That previously they would go after that kid. Now, is that important now? Do they still look at everything the same way, or do they sit in with their new defensive coordinator and sit in there and go, well, no, this is a priority to me. Well, maybe I have more priority with the linebackers. Maybe I'm going to go out and spend more money with the linebackers. I don't really know, even though I do think that the secondary is very important to him, especially the corner position. I believe that he's similar to where they were before. So I don't think they're going to change drastically, and that's because he was here previously. They know his value, and I think that they have a lot of things in common. But they're going to sit down and talk about, what is most important to them. And I think that I don't see them just getting ridiculous with Reddick, though. I don't think that they're willing to go up to let's say they're going to go up to 25. I don't see
no way.
Yeah, I don't.
No way. I'm with you here.
I don't see that.
I don't see that either, especially with a guy who I think is limited in tackling and also covering. I want to throw this at you, Gary. Eagles to have a successful 2024 offseason. First off, let me ask you, what do you make of the new coordinators that they've hired in Kellen Moore and with Vic Fangio? Are you a fan of what they're doing? Because it's such a dramatic change from a year ago.
Yeah.
Are these guys the Band-Aids to fix this?
Well, I think, they got Fangio. This is his system. Really, the guy last year was playing his system. So I think they're already they're already on board with that. The whole thing is, I really thought last year that, of course, Bradbury was, he was horrible. He didn't play well. I thought that, some of the issues they have with the tackling, like you got so many DBs that don't want to tackle. I thought that was, and I see that, when I compare that to the Chiefs, they got guys who will tackle. We got you got too many guys in the secondary. Guys don't want to tackle. But they've got young kids. I don't know how they're going to evaluate them. Are they ready to let them sink or swim? Are they willing to sink or swim with them? Because they've got some of the young kids that there's certain things they did that I liked. I thought they, some of them were coming along, but the whole thing is how did they rate them? But when you talk about the coordinators, I like the offensive coordinator Kellen.
Kellen Moore.
I like him. I think he's aggressive. I think he's innovative. I think he's going to be good, especially you got a young guy with Jalen. I think he's going to be good for Jalen. He's aggressive. I think that they need to be more aggressive, especially when you got the wide receivers they have. That they got to be willing to attack people and really go out there and go after the jugular. I think that they need to do that. Times I know he's been criticized for maybe getting away from the run, but it's not a running league; it's a passing league, and they got weapons. They should be able to go out and really attack people. And
Gary, do you think they bring Swift back?
Chances are no, because he's going to get a better offer somewhere else. The Eagles are clear that they don't pay running backs, so I don't think Swift is going to be back. In fact, he was in the locker room. I told him, "Hey, get your money, man. Because you're a running back, and you can get hurt at any time. Come on, you get hit more than anybody else. So if you're a running back, you gotta go get your money. A lot of the guys are in there talking, and all the guys are talking. But I think that if you're a young player, especially a running back, whose chances are your career is not going to be as long as the guy that's playing wide receiver. You got to get your money, man. You got to get your money, and that's why the whole thing is who is going to give him more money. But the way the Eagles are, in that they don't want to spend more, let's say, than the $6 million on the whole all their running backs. I don't see any way why he doesn't get a better offer somewhere else. Probably.
Where are you on this one? I had Merrill Reese on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Merrill doesn't want Jason Kelce to come back. I say that Jason Kelce may be the most important player that they could decide on coming back, because last year they sucked at blitzes. They have a new coordinator coming in.
Yeah.
There's rumor that they're going to put Hurts under center more. He's part of the tush push, which means, in my opinion, you can make the argument that Jason Kelce is more important than Lane Johnson. And he's the highest paid center at 36-37.
Yeah.
And he was all pro, though, Gary. It's not like he was good. He was the best player in the league at his position. What do you do with him?
Well, you'd like him to make his decision, sooner rather than later.
Like combines.
Yeah, that's what you like him, because, it could affect what you're doing, with the draft. So from that standpoint, you'd like him to go ahead and make his decision. But, you definitely would like to have him back. As far as I'm concerned, what are you talking about? You want to be as good as you can be.
I think it's crazy want him back. People want him out. I think it's crazy. I'm like, dude, the center position sets the protections.
Yes.
He sets blitzes.
Correct.
He takes so many responsibilities off of Jalen's plate.
Yes.
He's more valuable than Lane at times because of the things he has to do.
Correct. And they look at how much they run behind him too. You know how you have the guards pulling? Now, of course, when we grew up in the game, the guards pulled. Ain't nobody had a center pulling. Well, he pulls. He's
out in the third level.
That's right. So he's more important than a regular center. So, I don't see how you could say, you think you're a better team without him. And if he's playing the best at his position, how could you be better without him?
I'm with you. I don't see that here. How about Fletcher? And Gary, I said this. It's got to be an indictment on Howie Roseman's drafting if he does not have, for the 2024 season, 2 first-round tackles starting in Jordan Davis and in Jalen Carter. Yeah. And you still got a 34-year-old guy you can't get off the books at $10 million.
Yeah.
It's an indictment that you drafted 2 first-rounders in consecutive years at that position for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? What do you do with Fletcher?
Those guys have got to step up. With Fletcher, I don't think you can give him, they gave him 10 last year. He played well. He played well for him. So I don't think you're mad at him coming back.
No,
you'd like to have more talent. Now you might not be able to give him 10, but maybe you could give him 7. But I think you want him back. But the thing is you have got to push those young kids. Right at the end of the season, I would have been in there talking to them. Look, hey, let me tell you something. You guys better come back, in the camp. In fact, the offseason, you better live in here. We got to have it out of you guys. You got to deliver this year. We didn't draft you and use that pick just to have you in here, telling jokes. You guys better strap it up. You better get ready to play, because I tell you, it's not going to be fun around here if we're not getting anything out of you. And I think they got to be that way, and they got to tell their defensive line coach, he got to have fire on those guys, because they are going to be the heart of of this line. And they're young guys, and they got to expect a lot out of them right now.
Nolan Smith, couple last questions for you. Nolan Smith, what is he and who is he?
Now, I don't think they know. Because he's got the speed. He did show things, and I could see why they probably should have gave him more time, but he does a lot of the same things that Hassan does, which is he's a speed rusher coming off the corner. He's undersized, and he did show that. I think he's going to be all right, but the thing is, I think that they had him doing some other things too, which I don't know if you want to get him all confused. I mean, if you're going to commit that he's going to be, rushing the passer basically, then you need to go ahead and decide on that. If that's what you're going to do, but I don't know that they're sure about him because I'm not sure about the kid yet.
How about this one, Gary? Last one here for you. You and I were in the league when you walked into a locker room. Could have been the last day that you walked into the locker room and everyone feared for their job. It just seems to me, Philadelphia and the Eagles in that locker room, it just seems that those things look like entitled chairs at times. And maybe going into that room and blowing out Fletcher Cox, doing something that sends a message. Don't you think that team needs a message in the room to have like Jimmy going to all those veteran guys like Randy White? Remember when he did all that to Randy and
that's right,
Rafferty and all them guys?
Yeah.
Blew all them dudes out, told them guys, you're not wanted here.
Yeah.
The only guy that survived was like you and Ed. Eugene Lockhart, he did, but there were some few dudes that did. Doesn't that team need a message?
Well, I definitely think that they definitely, there are guys, which were on the team that they won the Super Bowl with. And I do think that like I was saying about those young kids, hey, stop looking behind you like we got somebody that's gonna step in there. You are it, And I think that they do need, that kind of a sobering message. I definitely think they need that. And, with some of them, I wonder, you mentioned Nolan Smith. Now, is he ready to take that on? I don't, I didn't see it last year to where he's ready to take that on. But see, during the offseason, he needs to be in that weight room. He needs to be living over there. See? And I don't know that it doesn't seem like they push kids the way they did when we were playing. They tell them, look, this is your time, dude. You better step up or we're going to get somebody else in here. And, you're going to be working at the laundromat down the street.
Hey, the depth chart mattered when you and I played. I don't think it matters right now. You looked out and you were like, oh, I'm fourth.
Hey, you better believe
I'm out of here.
That's right.
I'm out of here. Hey, finally, one last prediction on the way out. Does Nick survive the year?
Yeah, I think he'll survive, but that doesn't mean he's not going to get hit with the machete at the end of the year. I mean, I can't say I feel great about
Wallace everything. At the end of the year.
Yeah, I can see
Braveheart.
I don't see what's the use in having him around?
I don't. No. I'm with you, and I'm with Angelo. I don't know what his job is.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, he's neutered. He's like, he's had him cut off, man.
Yeah.
He's
a eunuch.
It's hard to say, but I mean, come on. They basically got him in there, and he's got no power. How could you be the head coach and you got no power?
What's his job?
You know what his job is?
Please tell me.
I guess it's the Monday, after the game, talking after the game. What else does he do?
You mean planting rainbows? I mean,
no, the
rainbows
news conference.
And planting flowers again?
On Monday. I mean, that's all that's all he can do because he does not have any power.
So he's like William Shakespeare on Monday. Telling me some soliloquy.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting if you have players going off on him. See, because if a head coach don't have no power, the guy, he'll say something during the game. Man, you better get out of my face, man.
So Monday's rock, paper, scissors day.
I guess. I guess, man.
Hey, this is for our new coordinator.
Hey, you know, some of the people gonna start talking about him stealing money because what is he doing? A head coach
he's a doorman
with no power.
I think he's a doorman. I do. Gary, thank you, my friend.
All right, have a good one.
You got it. Yeah, appreciate Gary Cobb, man. Absolutely funny stuff. Yeah, here's Nick on Monday, Tone. To be or not to be. That's what our defense is. Oh, my God. To be or not to be. Our defense will tell us in the next couple days. We'll plant flowers for Othello. Oh, my God. Oh, man. I think Gary's like, what's his gig? It's true. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show, please.